traveling step, you probably slow down already. And the flying spirit is comes down to the earth. So it's a little bit sad to see the summer is gone, but also we're glad the autumn is coming. Autumn is time to harvest. So that's the time you put some effort, whatever your work and your speech. Hopefully we put more our effort for our goal and improve our speech. That's my study. Okay, I think we have rule, Toastmaster rule, today's meeting rule in the resetting some. The rules, I still have some fill up. Hannah, can you take someone? We have timer and body counter. You go to
You can be
body counter. Our counter.
I can be
Our counter.
Your Honor.
Can you introduce what you do for our counter?
So I'm going to be tracking any filler words. I think there's a few repeated words as well. Okay. I know at the end of the meeting there is a fine for it. It's supposed to be 50 cents, up to 50 cents. I think it's 5 cents for each. So just tracking any filler words that you guys might have, even during table topics in your speeches.
But that's guest you don't need to pay. It's only for members.
So members will.
Next one is word. I pick up a word today. It's called categorically. So it's absolutely, expressly, and help the members or guests when you make speech and use this word. Next, grammarian is Mark.
I could be grammarian.
It is?
Take a look.
Yeah, it is.
Alright, fellow Toastmasters, I'm going to be keeping track of any incorrect usage of grammar. This will help you and everyone else in the group better monitor their speech and make fewer mistakes. There are no fines, and even better, no worries about being right or wrong. If you catch an error, tell us about it. If it's you who are wrong instead, no big deal, just try your best, and you can always listen for these types of errors. Incorrect use of plural when singular should be used, so switching the plural and singular, mixing past and present tenses, as well as dangling participles. So I'll give a report at the end and see how everyone did.
Barry Conjure.
So I'll be rebelling today, and all of you must have got a little sheet like this. So you get to vote who was the best speaker, who was the best table topics master, and who did the best evaluation for the speeches. Thank you.
We have this meeting. We always record the video. So anybody, if you don't want to be recorded, just let us know because this is automatic, just recording. So because one of our speaker is not coming yet, so we're starting on the table topic first.
You
While
want to
waiting
start
for
table
the
topic? Oh.
Who's that timer? Do you have a timer?
Do you have a timer?
timer? Oh no, who?
Or you
I
want-
can do the thing.
So I'll be the
Yeah.
I'll
go
be
ahead.
the timer. I'll be the timer for the day today, and I'll be timing table topics, the prepared speeches and evaluations. Table topics, you get 2 minutes to complete your speech, and in the process of it, when there is like 1 minute left, I'll show the yellow card, and when the time is up, I'll show a green card, and if you're 30 seconds longer than the given time, then I'll ring a bell. So that's how it is for all the speeches.
Thank you, Roger. Our next section is fun part, table topic section. Let's welcome Wei Ming.
topic. Table topic is summer is gone. So I'm gonna call on people, and then we're gonna go through a series of things. It just happens that the word "gone" (G-O-N-E) has a bunch of other words that have the same ending (O-N-E). So I'm gonna go through all those words and try to make up something. So Hannah, you just woke up and summer is gone. What's happening?
Woke up and somebody's gone?
No, yeah.
That's scary.
That works too. You just woke up, someone's gone, but summer is gone. So what's happening?
Gosh, it went by so fast.
It's a table
Table topics.
It's a table
You're like, let's have what is going on. I guess so.
No.
Yeah, table topics.
Okay, so I woke up and summer's gone, and I look out the window, and I guess it's foggy. The Bay Area fog is back, and it's gonna be foggy for the next few hours until like 12 o'clock. And I'm thinking, what did I do with my summer? Because I didn't really do anything this summer, except work a lot, but and travel on a couple trips. But I would be definitely sad that summer is gone, and I would be missing the opportunity to go to the beach more often than I hoped this summer, and then go to places like Yosemite and camping and things like that because I want to do more camping trips. But I guess my story: summer's gone, and I'm bad at improv.
Improv.
Is this supposed to be like an improv story?
Up to you.
Okay. I don't.
It's your table topics.
It's my table topic. Okay, I woke up and summer's gone, and I realized I can't sleep in anymore, and there's no more good shows on Netflix. And who else?
Thank you. Thank you, Hannah. Even though you think summer's gone, it's categorically not true. Now, why is that? Because you are still able to go to the beach. Mark, so you went to the beach and you found a bone. Tell us what happened.
Found a bone?
Yeah, a bone.
Wait, B-O-N-E?
B-O-N-E.
B-O-N-E, okay. Well, my first thought is, hearing about this bone is what you said to Hannah earlier. Before you said summer's gone, you said someone's gone. So, my first thought is perhaps I found that someone. But in reality, unless it's you know, a human bone, I think probably it was more we were just fooling around, playing in the sand, stumbled across maybe a fish bone. We'll make it much more innocuous. So if I'm at the beach, I stumble across a fish bone. That's totally normal. We're at the beach, you know, fish get washed up. I'd probably resume what I was doing at the beach, which is hopefully hanging out with people that I love, barbecuing, maybe probably not swimming since it's NorCal, but admiring the ocean from afar and getting ready to build a bonfire. Enjoying the last days of summer, especially Labor Day's coming up, so the perfect time to enjoy the last dregs of sunlight. That's great. Mr. Tabletop.
Thank you. So you just happened to not just found one bone, you found a bunch of bones. And you're able to construct a cone out of those bones. What are you going to do with the cone, Jose? Cone. Cone, yes.
Are you talking about horror story?
Well, that relates to being a child. I was walking once in the beach and I was gathering bones. And it seems like that's all I had to work with. So what I had to do was try to build something out of it, but it still kept on falling. So what I had to do is wait a minute, let's make a cone out of these bones. So I made a cone, and from then on, my imagination flourished. Oh, now I'm the king of the cones. Right? I imagine myself as, and it gave me the opportunity to be more creative in my play, and try to figure out that, hey, I'm on top of this hill of cones now, and I can see the world. And from this point of view, I thought to myself that, hey, now I can see the world. And from this way of thinking, I can also explore what's out there and meditate and think about what's out there. And from that pointage, from that imaginary point of view, I came up with a lot of good things that I could do, not just in this speech, but all throughout the world. That was very, very helpful.
Thank you. So it just happens that even with one cone is not enough. You found enough bone to make two cones, and you connect them together with a string. It turns into a phone. Now, Jason, what are you gonna do with that?
Thank you. So when I think of phone, I think of, when I think of phone, I think of cell phone. And when I think of cell phone, I think of a mini computer. And I think of all the things I could do with a phone. I could use Meetup and just go to these events and improve on certain skills. I can use Messenger, message people. But recently I've discovered a lot of different apps that I could use, such as, recently I started opening myself to more Google products, such as Maps. Well, I used to be an Apple Maps person. Apple Maps person, but now I open myself to Google Maps, which is a lot more useful because they collect more data. And also remote computing, that allows me to control a lot of my computer remotely and automations remotely. Also discovered, discovered different ways to like use payment systems and different features. And when I think about a phone, I just think about many different things that opened up to me.
That's great. Thank you. However, with that phone, it only lasted 2 minutes, and then you have nothing left. And so you end up with none. You're still in it's the end of summer. So what are you going to do with that none? Adam.
I moved here about 2 months ago, and I came from Humboldt County, a place I absolutely love. I had so many friends there, and every day I would go out and enjoy the area. Categorically, I would explore the redwoods and the beach. It's the perfect place to be in the summer. So why, at the beginning of the summer, would I move to the Bay Area? A place where I am more isolated, where I have less friends, where I don't really get to get out and engage with people. It's as if I had a phone made of bones that was taken away from me. So now I actually woke up this morning and I went out early onto the porch and I saw the fog coming in. And actually there's something very sweet about it. It reminded me of being in Humboldt, a place where it's always rainy. And I kind of felt like I was at home again. Even though I'm in this strange new place, having to take on new adventures, I still feel like I have a bone that's a phone that I found on the beach, and I don't feel so alone.
Thank you. Thank you. So it just happens that with a few more words, that the song that ends with ONG. So Ed Maggie. Although none was left, you were able to still scrunch up a bunch of things. And apparently people can take cone, and then the Indians a long time ago. They were able to take all the corns together and then somehow dry it and with the water from the ocean or from the water somewhere, and it turns into something called pone, P-O-N-E, which is a bread. It's like a cornbread.
Oh, corn.
So, what do you do with that big pone that you made?
Pome is.
It's cornbread. It's a big bread, piece of bread.
Uh-huh.
It's round piece of bread.
How do I do with the?
What are you
syrup?
gonna do with that?
That's bad. I'm on the diet right now. This brings a tough question. If I'm on the beach, I will feed the fish, the Marco said. If I'm, otherwise, I don't know what I'm used for that. At least for the summer, this bread, somebody can help me? Jennifer, you can help me?
Not yet.
Not yet. That's a tough question.
Well, it's just a piece of bread. You put it out into the ocean, or the fish ate it. Yeah.
That is my
That's good. However, that piece of bone happened to be a strange piece of bone. All the fish ate it, and the fish came out of the water, and they make a loud sound.
Oh.
It's so loud that the zone, S-O-N-E, which is a measure of sound, how loud the sound is, so loud that you cannot bear. It's so really loud. 675 zone is how loud that is. So, Raj, what happened?
Thanks, Remy. I just happened to visit Alaska very recently, and I realized that summer is not a big deal for tropical climate, but for people who live in Alaska, summer is like a blessing for them, right? And I think when you throw the bone into the sea and the fish is coming out loud, that is probably a kind of a gift for me to save my food for my winters, because I really have to do a hard way of fishing in the winters, because I have to kind of dig into the ice to get the fish. I think I'll probably save or try to save all my food in the summers, and the fishes are making so much noise, I'll probably go fish it and preserve it and keep it as a backup food for my summers to feed my dogs and things like that. So I think that is how I take this opportunity, that, you know, by throwing the bone into the sea and get the fish out of it, and basically I try to use the coming winter as a refrigerator for my food, which I got in summer.
That's weird.
Good. Thank you. So, categorically, it's a strange story, but we're going to try to finish it with two other members. So, all these fish came out and make this loud song, but they sang so good that it's actually a good tone. So, Tony, what kind of tone is it?
Thank you very much. The tone from the zone of the fish that make a loud zone attract sheep with a big horn. And the sheep thought that the captain of the ship thought that it might be some kind of magical things that happen near the zone of water next to the island. And oh shoot, my dad-in-law, and the ship leaned toward to that zone to discover what is happening. So that ship is actually a fishing ship, and
what they're looking for is mackerel. But when they come, the zone of fish is not a schooner of mackerel, but actually it's a schooner of kind of small guppy fish close to the shore, and they was disappointed a little bit. But then suddenly they realized that zone of fish actually a natural bell for a big schooner of fish is coming up to feed on them. So they learn a new experience. Instead of they have to make their own bell, they can create a natural bell by creating a zone of fish, and they create both the sounds and the smell and all kind of like magnetism to attract a bigger fish coming up. Yeah.
Good.
Still turn the tongue into a bunch of zones of fish, and it just happened that that boat took up all the fish except for that long fish. And that long fish, Jennifer, what's going to happen to that long fish?
Storytelling.
I'm very jet lagged right now. So that long fish continued his journey into the ocean. He swam, swam, and swam until he found an unidentified swimming object. It looks pretty, beautiful, and he swam closer and he realized this is a mermaid. He tried to make friends with her, but she didn't speak. He tried to find a small fish as a gift for that mermaid. She didn't speak either. After many, many days, about 6 weeks, that mermaid finally spoke. And she said, she's just flying back, swimming back from Vietnam. She was a little bit ocean lag.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. But finally she accepted the friendship. And after 4 months, they finally became a couple, which is the remaining time for our Toastmaster this term. That's the end of the story. Thank you.
So that's the end of the table topics. We're going to bring back the Toastmaster.
Thank you, Wemi. Thank you, Wemi. It's my starting point. Beautiful. The summer girl is beautiful picture. He's starting at horror story. But thank you, Jason.
So
Make this back. Stop the horror story. But thank you, Jennifer. And we end off the fairy tale. Okay, let's start our today's meeting. We have 2 speakers today. Let's introduce our first speaker. He has been Toastmaster for 5 years. 5 months, sorry. 5 months, 5 years. That's very hard story. Today he will speak about the sensible diet, which is meant to inform and inspire the audience to explore a healthy lifestyle. Welcome, Jose.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests. This is part of my ongoing series of speeches on wellness and meditation. Maybe I'll do something else later, but I'm kind of doing it right now. And in this case, I will cover the physical aspect of wellness, which is weight control and diet. Most of us try to do it because it's part of health. And the challenge is how to apply it in our day-to-day lives. This is part of some of the readings that I've done. Some of it is, in my opinion, also and it's also my experience in terms of diet and controlling your weight. And it covers 3 major topics. The first one being, and this is what I kind of gathered, it boils down to 3 major topics as far as controlling your weight, is being positive. The key is to maintain that positive attitude, maintain that positive aura around you. Tracking, and the second major point is to track your behavior, your eating patterns. And the third is how to adjust your behaviors so that you will have a proper response to certain triggers within your eating patterns. So basically, being positive, tracking, and responding to your day-to-day challenges in diets. There is no categorical best diet. Everybody is unique. But as you read through the different literatures on diet and nutrition, it boils down to a few major points. The first one being minimize your salt or no salt, minimize your fat or no fat, minimize your sugar or no sugar. Control your calories, balance your diet, think about having fruits and vegetables for every meal. And of course, I have to say this, that it's not just eating, it's a balance of energies. You have to exercise. I will cover exercise, maybe I will later, but for now I'll just cover the diet part. First, let's go to the first category, or the first major topic, which is being positive. Being positive means for every action that you do to correct your diet, you must maintain a positive attitude. For example, if you're categorically picking up certain foods for yourself to improve your intake of healthy foods, don't think of it as a chore. Don't think of it as annoyance. Always think about it in terms of what good it is going to do for you, giving you more energy, giving you better health and appearance too. The other part of being positive is affirmations. Always think of reminding yourself. You can do a daily goal, maybe you make a list of positive things that you want to achieve in terms of improving your diet. Affirmations. Some people use visualizations. They kind of do visualize their day and say, yes, this is what I want to do for today. In terms of just one category, again, diet. Think about, again, maintain positive. Think about your friends. You gotta have a supportive friends. It doesn't have to be everyone, but you have to anchor to certain people that kind of follows your lifestyle. And think about that, think about your relationships, because you need to learn more and you need to have that support. Think about research, knowing more about the topic. Read up on certain recipes that you want to use, certain trends in food, and like I said, exercise that could be helpful for you. And then we go to the next topic, which is tracking. Tracking involves understanding your behaviors. We have triggers. We have emotional triggers. For example, you eat more when you're happy or when you're sad. We have location triggers. You eat more when you're driving or watching TV. We have reason triggers where we eat more because of certain problems in your life. For example, you're depressed because you have the wrong you're not getting along with your mate, things like that. So after you track it, we go on to the third category, which is implementing recovery behaviors. For whatever problems that you have to identify and come up with alternatives. For example, if you're in a party and there's a big spread of buffet that you're very, very tempted to eat, then you must come up with an alternative behavior in response to that. For example, from now on, I'm just going to eat the healthy foods, skip on sugary drinks, skip on the dessert, and instead eat healthy foods and
socialize with people, and spend time that way. Again, you have to be creative, come up with alternate schedules for yourself. That way you're not always thinking of eating. Now, I covered the 3 topics. It seems like a very, very big challenge, but it doesn't have to be a straight line decline in weight. You can fluctuate. Again, this is for you. This is how you want to address it. It's personalized, and it's as long as you think about the 3 things, right? Being positive, tracking, coming up with a response, you should do very well. Change your behavior, and achieve your goals. Thank you very much.
Please write the comment for this speech. Our next speaker, 2 years ago, he gave his then fiancee Jennifer a big surprise, and also gave the rest of us a category unforgettable weekly meeting. So will he make another surprise today? Let's find out. Please welcome Tony. His topic is resilience.
Thank you. The topic is resilient, and good morning, everyone. Toastmaster, welcome guests. Today, what I want to start is telling a story. So let's thought about the word emotion. Emotion is actually a combination between energy that creates motion. A natural person needs emotion to make them move. Emotion is very powerful. That help a person start their journey, like, oh, I'm so excited, let's do this. Oh, I'm so scared about that, let's do this. So you always start something with emotion. But the thing that keeps everything going on the same journey is resilience. Resilience is the ability that for you to keep your state of mind focused regardless to the external interaction. So for example, this morning is also my example of resilience, which is I'm so sleepy. I'm really sleepy. I actually sleep half of my brain on the way of driving here. Not like this.
That's scary.
I mean, my eyes still see the road, but my mind just shut down one side, and then they just interchangeably tweet the other side. And so Jennifer saw that, like. But originally he said like, okay, we need to go here, have a commitment about giving a speech. So the same thing happened with everything in your life. So there's something that the most challenging thing is actually happen in your mind. The emotion that help you start something is actually the emotion that make you quit on something. So I'm so happy to start it, but then when you go on a journey, you realize that, oh, this is boring, or this is frustrating, or this is, well, I'm not sure about that. Is it coming out like the same thing that I expected originally? So the emotion that makes you start the journey is exactly the emotion that makes you quit in a different way. So the question is how to control that emotion to help you stay on what you have chosen. This is the question that a lot of people have, but not so many people dive into how to like dissect it, how to categorically talk about it, how to make it so comprehensive. So you have to master it to make sure that you master what you're working on. And then I spent like a couple months to research on how the brains work actually. I studied how the emotion change inside of your mind and realized that there are 3 things you need to touch. The first one, thank you Jose for you bringing it up, is diet. Your brain is affected a lot by what you eat. If you too much like carbohydrates, sugar, you're gonna put coma, right? You're like, shut down. If you eat too much protein, like you put in the it's called this what is it, substance in English, but that thing, the substances from protein, especially from the animal protein, it's non-vegetarian, make you feel heavy inside. Like I don't want to move. Well, it's hard to feel itchy. It feel like body style. You see a lot of like good athletics people, they eat less animal protein but more in vegetable protein. They eat banana, they eat apple. They're not gonna eat like tons of chicken and pork and papaya and KFC all kind of stuff. No. So the most important thing you care about is diet. To make sure that your body fluid, everything that supports you, support your emotion, make you feel positive, make you feel upbeat, make you feel like, is this wide awake? The second thing you care about is a thing that we call food for thought. What you read the CNN, the constant negative news, like somebody killed somebody else today, somebody shoot someone today, where you might start to feel nervous, worried. It plants a seed in your mind actually. And then when you start to face a challenge, that seed trigger, it grow. And now the frustration, the nervousness, everything is triggered into your own journey, indirectly from something irrelevant. Like someone shoot or someone rape somebody outside your door, and you're like, never meet none of them. Both the victim and the criminal, right? You meet none of them, but they're infecting on your feeling. So food for thought. And last but not least is the practice of spiritual practice, like meditation, something you believe in, something that you can put your life identify for it, right? Something that you believe is true and strong enough that way, no matter what happens, well, I'm gonna go that way. For example, right? If you believe in God, well, I feel like devastating. I feel that my life is so disastrous. But I believe in God. Like He just will give me an appetizer or something cool. So it's just going on. You practice on spiritual path. So that's it compiled into a perfect dish. You need to work on your physical, mental, and spiritual attribute of your body to control your mind. And it's not easy because a lot of people, they may care about diet or they may care about mental, but he doesn't care about spiritual. When I ask randomly a person, what did you believe the most in your life? They were like, for 10 seconds. They don't really know what I believe the most in my life. Wake up every morning and fight for it. And that's it for resilient. Thank you very much.
Please give me comment. Our next section will bring up our this meeting's general evaluator to evaluate our meetings. Let's welcome Mark.
Alright, we'll move on to the final portion of our meeting. It's going to be the evaluation section. So to evaluate our speakers, the evaluation section is very important because it gives direct feedback to our speakers right after they've mentioned it. Like we have the feedback in writing form, as well as dedicated evaluators who are watching their speeches and giving them feedback on the entire thing. So for this section, our first evaluator evaluating Jose's speech about diet is our longtime returning president, Jennifer. Please help me welcome up Jennifer.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
It's my pleasure today, after so long, being back to be an evaluator and evaluated our beloved friend and Toastmaster, Jose. The very first thing I noticed, and it's coincidence with what you give a speech today, is about wellness and diet. Is that 6 weeks ago when I went away from my business trip to Vietnam, Jose looked a little bit different, and somehow I feel like he really demonstrated what he really care about diet and wellness. Is that his appearance today looked more energetic, and that is the first thing I noticed. So kudos to that, Jose. The speech is very categorically organized with three major aspects of it. First is maintain the positive attitude. The second, you mentioned about tracking your eating pattern, and the third one you mentioned of responding to the challenge in diet. It's very well organized, so it's also very easy to understand for the audience to go along with your speech and understand every single point of it. For the three main aspects too, when I evaluate you, the first is body language, the second is vocal, and the third is content. First, body language, you make good eye contact and it spread equally to the whole area of the room. And the body language with your hands is also good, but I feel a little bit repeatedly. So if you can maybe diversify it by putting this, that, instead of just doing like this right here. The vocal, you speak very clear, and I love your space, the pace of it. So it's not too fast, not too slow, so I love it. But you can also enhance it a little bit more, I feel. It's also a challenge for you because I know your style of speaking is like that. But if we go longer with Toastmaster, right, find some way to spice it up, to make it more interesting. And the content, I love it too. And I do feel like you research thoroughly with it because the informations you give it here, I noted for myself too, so I can learn from it. So I love the content. The ending, I feel like you can make it more motivational and make people feel related to it and make us feel like, oh, we can do it too. So the ending, how it's your challenge, right? How to make people feel like they can do it. It's easy enough, and they can change their habit right away after the speech. Is that what I love to make it more interesting? And for your next speech, right? Because you will talk about exercise for the next upcoming practice. You can practice the illustration. For example, I keep imagining if you talk about food, can you bring some food here and illustrate? or when you talk about exercise, do some movement in exercising. It will make the speech more relevant and more nice to people. Thank you, Jose.
Thank you, Jennifer. Our next evaluator will be evaluating Tony's speech on resilience. Please help me welcome up Raj.
So, Tony introduced us to how to be resilient. It was a fantastic speech. I really liked it. And Tony has a very, very, very unique style of delivering a speech. His body language is excellent. His voice modulation is even something that I am still learning from him. And the eye contact, right? He makes you feel as if he is talking to you, right? Each one of us, and that's really a big thumbs up for him. Those are the three good things I definitely appreciate. And any speech that I evaluate, I generally look at like what did I see, what did I hear, and what is my takeaway. So these are the three categories that I'll be looking at. So one, what did I see? I definitely saw all the good things like body language, eye contact, and things like that. What did I hear? Very good content. It was good, structured. It definitely had like what is coming in, like food, what is within you, your thoughts, and what is spiritual, where you can get more help, like some belief, right? Be it a God or something that it's gonna work very well. It's going to be positive kind of a thing. So that was a very good thing. While in the speech, I think I also observed that you stammered a little bit, were thinking for some words. Probably that could have been a little more improved. Maybe it was little because of your half sleepy mood that you had in the morning, or maybe you are not prepared. I don't know. So one thing that I also wondered is like how a food alone can help you come out of your, how a food alone can help you be resilient. I think it's a combination of those three. But I think you gave a little more emphasis on the food is what I felt. Okay. Anyway, so but nothing to diminish on that. But it was still good. The conclusion was good. You clearly said that that the things that you intake, the attitude that you have, and the spiritual help, like I mentioned. But a practical example, maybe time was a constraint. But if you had given like, okay, this was a situation I was in. And probably I was drunk that day, I ended up making a very bad decision. But had it been another day, I would have made a better decision because all the things worked in my favor. I was expecting a little more as a takeaway for me, which will stand in my mind for a little longer. But probably you were probably running out of time and you couldn't cover it. Right? But overall, the speech was good.
keep it going. Thank you.
Alright, thank you, Raj. And with that, I think we will move into the closing section of the meeting, since we've already done table topics. So let me grab my sheet for my evaluation at the end. And we're gonna call on duty masters. And first one up is our evaluator, Raj. For timer. Can you give a report on the timing? Sorry. Sorry.
Okay, so I think you did the rest of the evaluation.
I did, yeah, the evaluator.
Okay. So I'll give the timing report on the table topics. Anna, 1 minute 25 seconds. Mark, 1 minute 2 seconds. Jose, 1 minute 20 seconds. Jason, 1:18. Adam, 1:12. Maggie was the least, I think 58 seconds. I know you got a very tough talk. I'm with you. So I don't know my timing. I didn't measure or I didn't time it myself. Tony took the longest, 1 minute 33 seconds. Jennifer did in 1:20. So that was good. All were under the time thing. And for the prepared speeches, Jose took 6 minutes 23 seconds, and Tony was a little over time, 6:35. And for the evaluators, you're going.
Yeah, I'll do the evaluators. Just the normal timing is 5 to 7. So Tony's
Within the
yeah.
limits,
For the both evaluators were categorically within time. Jennifer, you had 3 minutes 20 seconds, and Raj, you had 2 minutes and 30 seconds. With that, I'll take on the grammarian. The grammarian is me. So let's see. I only caught a few things. Jen, you said. I don't think it's not incorrect, but it's not usually said. You said make friends with somebody. Usually it's become friends, but that might just be my experience. Jose, you said skip on sugary drinks. You could just say skip sugary drinks. And let's see. Tony, you said the emotion that makes you start the journey is also what makes you quit. Nothing's wrong with that. I just liked it. It was I like the sentence. I like sort of the way you tied that together. One thing you said was you're going to food coma. That one you sort of dropped. You should say you're going to have a food coma. And that was all I caught for grammar. I think everybody else did a good job. All right. Let's see. Our word master is Maggie. Can you give a report on who said the word?
I just heard the Jennifer and the Mark use that word. Well, Tony.
I said it.
Oh, you said that?
Yeah.
So I thought everyone said that.
Okay. Alright, thanks, Maggie. And then we have our joke master, Wyman. Do you have a joke for us?
He always have.
So, this is sort of a joke. So a dog looked at his owner as the person who takes care of the dog, loves the dog, feeds the dog, gives the dog a good place to sleep, and takes him out for a walk. So the dog looks at the owner as being God. God is taking care of him. A cat, on the other hand, looks at the owner. The owner loves the cat. The owner feeds the cat, has a good place to sleep. Takes the cat out for a walk, and the cat thinks he's God.
Thank you, Wyman. Our last report of the day is going to be our awe counter. Hannah, can you give a report on the ahs and ums?
The ahs and ums. Jennifer, we have 6. Tony, we have 3. Raj, I heard 6. Maggie, I heard 1. Jason guessed 2. Jose, 4. And then Mark, I think I heard 1, but not sure.
Okay. I'll just say you did.
I was like, I don't know.
Like maybe.
Maybe.
Okay, and with that, I'm going going to give a report on the overall meeting. First, I'll start with the evaluators. Jennifer, I think you did there was just one. Jennifer, I think you did a great job. I liked how you started with a little compliment. You did touch on everything, including the structure, body language, content. You touched on the conclusion. I like how you gave a challenge for the next speech, where you said, challenged him to have illustrations, and I agree with all of your pros and cons. Similarly, Raj, I think you did a good job on touching on most everything. You did talk about style, so body language, vocal variety, and eye contact. You touched on the content, structure, a little bit about the conclusion, and I do agree with your point on examples. The examples would make the speech stronger, so good job to both of our evaluators on touching on what you liked, as well as some direct improvements for the next speeches. I think it's very important to have something that they can work on their very next speech. Sometimes it's very tempting to give a broad challenge, but those sort of pointed challenges are something that's, I think, very helpful for, especially for newer speakers. In terms of the overall evaluation of the meeting, I think we've had sort of an issue of starting on time. I think having table topics first has been helping us out a little bit, has people filter in, and it's a good way to get people involved very quickly. I think overall the structure of the meeting is still going well, even though we've switched around table topics. Jose, you've been doing a good job of introducing guests. That's very important because then guests are able to sort of feel involved in the meeting, and I think we've been doing a good job of that, especially with table topics, everybody getting a chance to speak. And I think that everybody has been doing a very good job of doing double duties if they've been called on multiple roles. I think Raj did a good job of timing as well as evaluating. It's a little bit tough. And I would also encourage anybody who has multiple roles, and if at any point they feel like they're not able to perform both effectively, just ask their neighbor. Say, when Raj was coming up to evaluate, he just said, hey, can you time for me? Something like that. Feel free. Everyone's here, everyone's going to help. And aside from that, I think everybody did a good job. Everyone's engaged. Everyone's ready to play, essentially. So, great job. And with that, I will return control to our president, Jennifer.
Thank you, Mark. Alright. First of all, I would like to apologize for being away for too long. Actually, when I received the vote and also I made the campaign speech to become the president, I didn't know that I have to be away for that 6 weeks in Vietnam. And every time I look into the WhatsApp group of our Toastmaster, I feel, oh, I'm so bad I'm away, and then leave every responsibilities to other VPs and also for our members. So it's time to be back. It's really time to be back and engage and tie the knot and really embrace the leadership for not only our VPs, our officers, but also for every single members. And let's create the best atmosphere that we can have for our guests. With that being said, I would love to hear from our guests today what you feel about this meeting. If there's any contributions, any input, any feedback you have for us so that we can improve our quality of every single meeting. So let's ask from Jason.
I think the meeting structure is really good. I think today was really good. Everyone had really good stories, ideas, and things to share. I don't really see what could be improved, but I had a great time.
Yeah.
So.
And
yeah.
and will you consider to be back?
Yeah, I definitely want to see if it fits into my schedule, because this is the earliest part of my week. Usually my day starts at like 9, 10. So I really want to see how it fits into my schedule.
Right.
But I do like waking up really early in the morning.
Yeah.
It's a really different feel. So.
Yeah. So instead of like forming a new habit of waking up every day early, you can consider waking up early on Wednesday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And So at Toastmaster we have a VP of membership, which is used to be
Prakash.
Prakash, but now who's in charge?
Maggie.
Oh, Maggie, right. Maggie will be the VP of membership. You can come as many times as you want.
Mhm.
But once you consider to be a member, that's when you can speak. You can contribute into giving votes. Then you talk to Maggie or myself or any other VPs. Yeah. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Jason. And Adam, can you please share with us what you think, what you feel, any improvement we should make?
Yeah, I feel very welcome here. It's very nice. I mean, I'm actually kind of happy to wake up early to come here and see you all. It's been great. It's the perfect way to go from your brain half on to fully on. So one of these days I am going to sign up because I am inspired seeing you all speak. I want to take it on fully, I think. I'm almost ready. Yeah.
Yay.
So
Thank you, Adam. And by the way, the speech you gave in the table topic section, is that really your story or you invented?
no, that's my story. Yeah, so
Okay.
maybe I cheated, but I just, there's no bone now? I don't know.
Wonderful, you did a wonderful job with that too. And so do we have any announcement to make? Yeah. Please, Hannah.
It's open to any Toastmasters, and I'll post it on the group. If you guys are in town on Labor Day weekend, Sunday, we're having a little wine gathering at our house, in our backyard. We have a wine shed. But
Wow.
and we're introducing it, but I'll post it on the group so you guys are welcome to come. Sunday evening, 5 o'clock.
Awesome.
Are you going to send out the group?
I'll send it on there.
Oh, this Sunday,
Good.
right?
This Sunday, yeah.
And where's the location?
I live in Milpitas.
Okay, so it's close by. Yeah, it's been a way too long that we don't have any gathering, and the summer is gone, which is a little bit. I feel so guilty now, cause it's lovely because the tabletop the startup speakers Toastmaster have the history of 7 years. We've been in such a journey. And we used to have a lot of gathering together. We have a hiking group that a lot of members
Still there.
here, they're still going to Mission Peak or some beautiful trails. So Adam or Jason, if that is a benefit or a peaks that wants to join, please consider that also, because it's always about the energy, right? And at Toastmaster, we be here long enough, and we looking forward to have a fresh breeze so that we can even motivate ourselves better to serve more. And with you joining, it's a new breeze, it's a new energy for us, for the existing members to thrive even more and to create more opportunities for us to understand each other, not only within this room, but also outside the room. Yeah. And so for next week, I would love to call for volunteers to be Toastmaster. You want to be a Toastmaster?
I want.
Okay. Because you, it's been long. Because I saw Wami become a Toastmaster. Hannah,
I think
you
it's
did
been
not.
a while, but it was a few times earlier this year.
Yeah. Okay. Raz.
I don't know if I'll come next week, but I'll probably post it in the group by Sunday or Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's too late then.
Yeah, that's why I'm not signing up.
I think it's Tony.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because everyone else made it. And who's going to speak next week besides Wami?
I'll send it first.
I'll take the third spot because I have a luxury to quit if I can't. I'll be the third speaker, optional third speaker.
Optional, right? Right, optional. Evaluator.
I'll be evaluator.
Who else? Maggie? Evaluator.
I haven't decided yet. I come here. Okay, I take a.
Okay. And if in case you two want to join today, you can be evaluator. just for your information. Invocator. Do we need invocator these days?
I'm not gonna.
Okay. Yeah, other roles we
Yeah.
can fill it
Definitely.
during the week. So also I have a question, like for the new term of leadership, do we have training?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to
Yeah.
one
I
yesterday.
went to one a couple weeks ago.
Right. And what is the upcoming ones? Do we have more?
They send out the emails. They send out a lot of
To
emails.
register.
I don't receive any email.
Yes, you can forward it.
Yeah.
Yes. And now it's going to the important part of the meeting, which is we announce the winners. Announce the winners. Yes. The first one, the winner for table topic section, drum roll please. And it's coming to Adam. Yay. The winner for our evaluation is Raz. Yay! Congratulations for evaluation too. And last but not least, our best speaker coming and we have a picture together.
One, two. We'll take a few.
Nice. Thank you. For our VP PR, Hannah, I challenge you to make our picture posting look more interesting.
I'll edit it.
Like
I
put some,
did that. Make it nasty.
put some magic into the
We have
picture,
Facebook
ask people
stories
to
now.
jump
Oh,
when
really?
they receive.
Yes.
All right. So that is coming to the end of the meeting. And before leaving the room, I would love you to go out with this. Today we listened to good diet, we listened to resilience, and bring some of that good energies with you throughout the week. And please come back next week if you can. Thank you, everyone. We end 5 minutes early. So the officers with the, I would love to catch up with you for 5 minutes. Oh, my
I have to leave the meeting.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
see you,
See you.
see you. I feel like I'm a little bit zoned out. I don't know what's going on. And you. So Tony, this thank you.
Yeah.
So at first, right? Any of us can go to Hannah's gathering.
I'll post it if you guys are in town.
Yeah.
Potentially,
Thank
yeah.
you.
I should be here this weekend. We'll see. It's Labor Day as well.
Yeah, Sunday, right? Sunday, Labor Day. Will the guests be invited?
So,
Jason.
Yeah,
There
it's
was
Be in touch.
Yeah, definitely.
Were you there?
Bye bye,
No,
one.
no, no. Oh, okay.
Thank you.
So will you go to
Yeah, I
Were you guys on the same business trip?
See, when I asked for
Yeah, yeah.
all night.
Oh,
So I really need to go to the training.
Right. Yeah. Is that the
yeah,
one
yeah,
on the
I'm
website?
looking forward to it.
You
There's
see?
no
It's
keyboard.
morning.
It must be high.
Yeah, there's I think a few more days, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's in the
I need to go
Yeah,
to
the price
training.
definitely reasonable.
Yeah, I think there's only like
I just
one or
really
two.
want
There's like
It's
one
like
in
super reasonable.
Sunnyvale
I think
today.
Valley Metro is like
I think
Today?
you did.
per-
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I
It's only $1 per.
Yeah, that's it.
I went
That's great.
yesterday. I didn't go
Like
Thursday.
Yeah, just
Oh,
I just
Yeah,
put
so
it
we
on.
Somehow I don't
Here,
have
Yeah.
is this? I'm not sure if that's your email.
Oh yeah, I've been emailing you. Did you see it?
It's my personal. I never
There
did.
you go. Yeah, so there's those are the last two.
It's in in the membership emails. I emailed everybody, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you
It's
get
my
it?
personal email. I no longer.
Jennifer mentioned.
Oh no, you want to use it?
Can you please? I say.
So eventually, if you want to be a like a leader, you'll get training.
Oh, I'm not
Oh,
saying.
okay.
Okay.
What's your email, sir?
Jennifer at
Tony.
aastudy.com.
See you around.
Hey, I like congratulations.
Oh, you too.
You change your email?
Thank you.
Honestly, I really need to do
Actually,
that.
so I don't
You
use
don't
my
check that.
personal.
In the middle of a project I've been working on for a long time.
Oh, what is the project?
So you have Maggie's email?
Yeah.
If there's any questions,
So you
right?
send
Head against the wall.
Okay.
Just like frustrated.
Oh, okay.
It's lovely
It's
to
like
see.
I see a lot of value in this, so definitely.
discouraged.
Yeah, so I do have some
Yeah,
like
yeah.
not, I guess it's not bad news, but
So, yeah,
Sure.
so,
yeah, so I'm moving up to San Francisco. So actually,
I'll still be
it's-
working on this one. And
yeah, so I actually already talked to Jose and Wei Ming about it. I don't know if I talked to you about it yet. Yeah. So, and then
There's a lot to it.
that's why I was very glad that you came at least this week. I was like, I might not be
There's a
done
ladder
before
we
you
have
come
to
back.
follow. When I said, for example,
But you change
that's part of my, that's part of my role.
Yeah, so I'm moving out from I'm currently living at my parents' house in Sunnyvale, so I'm moving out from
Styles and
I work in Fremont.
I also have the people
Yeah,
in the Bay Area.
yeah.
From Dixie. Oh,
It's
Oh,
a
you know that.
it's a commute. Yeah, it's a
Also
long commute.
motivational environment.
I actually
We have
almost
to
did
keep
the same
ourselves
thing
a bit
last
to
year,
talk to people
and I also want to
encourage
get
them.
like
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
position in the
you're
city,
good.
so I'm
Yeah.
just trying to like
So
apply
I think if you want to
So you kinda.
learn more
Yeah.
about each other,
Perfect.
see if I can
Yeah,
help you,
so
actually.
Actually, what Jennifer
I
said,
still might
the parts
you
drop
go
in
to
here and there just because my
weekend,
parents' house is
hang
here,
out
like,
with
I still don't work
Hannah,
in the area,
so
so
we can learn all that
maybe. But
Yeah,
Are you free this
so that's a heads up.
Sunday
I'm glad you
evening?
could
I'll
back
say
for me
that.
to tell you in
Oh,
person.
that's wonderful.
So good.
Uh-huh.
When I was working,
There's a lot of so.
Very formal.
Oh really? Okay. Do they do
Sure.
like
Yeah.
Anytime.
I like that.
Thank you so much.
I
Have a good day.
Yeah, the thing is, I'm like bio, so I'm looking more at like South San Francisco. They have like sort of like a little bio hub there,
You see all the speakers. You get to see
and near Berkeley.
Yes,
There's like there's a spot in South San Francisco. There's like actually a lot of
Oh,
colleges there.
so
So
those are nice.
yeah, yeah. And then there's
Okay.
no, I'm not in tech. Yeah, I do molecular biology. But when you're in the Bay, it's like yeah. So I took the secretary training, so I'm still gonna be on there. And then I think with Hannah being trained, we have 4, which fulfills our
And
distinguished.
did you go to
Oh, first.
the Toastmaster training?
Not yet.
So 2 more we had
Yeah. So the only thing is, let's see. So it was Jose went, I went, Hannah
Yeah, I
went,
went.
and
So,
then
yeah, do you want more training?
Maggie had gone, but she hasn't. I'm not sure if it's counted yet because she wasn't VP of membership yet. So I
Oh,
think one
how
thing
do
to
we do it?
one thing to follow. I think Dan sent an email about that too. He said, I have the email right here. He said, if you're no longer a club officer and the new officer has already attended COT, then please update the officer list at Club Central on Toastmasters.org and let me know.
Right. Do we have a password for that?
Or-
Oh, that's right. Who has the password? I've been trying to upload
For
the
the
video.
website or the-
Huh?
For the website?
I think
No,
the
the-
password for
the-
that
the
is
Apple.
password.
Oh.
For Apple.